All right. You guys, it's so good to be back. I missed these 2 weeks. I took some time off and while my kids were on spring break and we went on a cruise and everything, and I didn't have any internet. So that's why that's one of the reasons I took some time off. But I also, um, a few times a year, I just need some time off to uh, just not be on electronics, not be just not to work, to just enjoy time with my family and spend time with my kids and stuff while they're out of school and all that. So, but it's great to be back. Like I really do miss doing these lives with you guys because I mean, I think they're valuable. I think, I get feedback that a lot of you get things that you didn't know out of them. So I love to educate. I love to help people with their health, and anytime I can do that, I enjoy it. So it lights me up. It makes me happy and gives me energy. So it's really good to be back. Let me know if you guys had kids out of school, if you did anything fun, let me know. Yeah, it was lovely. It was a great time. We had a lot of fun. Um, so today we're talking about how to overcome thinking that keeps you stuck. So I asked a question in the group um, under this scheduled live. And it was, do you think that that matters? Do you think your thinking affects how your health goals go? How you, um, what you do about your health goals? Do you think your thinking matters when it comes to that? And the answer is it definitely does. Like the way you think affects everything in your life. It affects the way you do things. It affects what you believe, your habits, just everything in life. It really does your thinking really does have an effect on everything you do, right? And the way that you do it. And y'all have to excuse me because I've had like some allergies, and so if I clear my throat or cough or something, I'm sorry. um so let's get into it, okay? So if you saw my last live, you'll know that one of my mindset blocks was that was keeping me stuck was that all or nothing thinking. So we're going to get into that one and some other mindset blocks today. Hey, how are you? Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Um, your thinking can make or break you. Changing my thinking patterns was the best choice I ever made. Yeah, me too. I didn't realize that, think the way you think and your beliefs and your mindset had, such an effect on your life and the way you live it, right? And your choices. So when you realize that and you take steps to change it, it can really change your life. Good, just getting back to it. Okay, awesome. Good. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to get back into it this week. All right, so let's talk about the first mindset block, which is that all or nothing thinking that I fell into, and I'm sure many of you do. This way of thinking means you think you have to do something 100% or not at all. There's no in between. It's like I have to do it perfectly. I have to strive for perfection, or I can't do it at all. I might as well just quit, right? How many of you think like that or used to think like that? Let me know. And this makes it hard to get back on track after like a splurge meal or, if you did have a vacation like I did. This used to really make it hard for me to get back on track because I felt like, oh, I ruined my diet on vacation, or I ruined my healthy eating streak or my exercise streak on vacation. And so now I can't, you know, I can't get back on track. I've already ruined it. I might as well just quit. That's how I used to think every time I'd go out of town, every time I'd have like a splurge meal. And that was just really holding me back from my health goals. Yeah, yeah. It used to for you too. So, so it can also it can make it hard to get back on track, but it can also make you afraid to try healthy lifestyle habits again, right? Because you're afraid of failure again. And every time you do this, every time, if you're an all or nothing thinker, every time that you fall off and try to get back on, it makes it harder a lot of times because you're afraid to fail again. You're thinking, well, I got off track, so what if this happens again? I just might as well not even do it, you know? But instead, it's better if we can not have that all or nothing thinking and just say, okay, so I went on vacation for a week. When I get back, I'll just get back on track. It's no big deal, you know? Like, don't let it bother you. You don't have to be perfect, you know? That is not any way to live life. If you try to be perfect all the time in every scenario, on vacation, when you're out at a restaurant, when you're out doing fun things with your kids or whatever, that is, like that's stressful and that's no way to live your life. If you're on some kind of plan or trying to eat healthier, eat clean or whatever, that's no way to live life if you're always afraid that you can't get off track or you can, you can't go in and out of it, right? So, instead of thinking in extremes like this, it's better to just set some ground rules for yourself. So, I'm going to go over a few that I had to set for myself, and maybe this will give you some ideas of what you can do for yourself. So, one of my rules that I set for myself was I will only eat dessert twice a week, or I will have no more than 2 splurge meals per week. And that's kind of what I do, 2 splurge meals, 2 desserts. So like four kind of more treats every week. And those are two of my kind of ground rules that I don't go beyond. Like I don't go beyond 2 desserts a week. I don't go beyond 2 splurge meals a week. Just because that is kind of my sweet spot for staying healthy, but also enjoying life. Like if I were to go over that, I feel like my blood sugar would get unbalanced again. I feel like, my hormones would be unbalanced. I just wouldn't feel as good. And if I never had splurge meals or never had dessert, then I would feel that would, which I've done before, and that really plays into my mental health. And so um, to avoid like, you know, uh, mental health problems, like, feeling depressed or feeling like, I can't be like everyone else because that's how I used to feel. Like, why can't I eat like everyone else? And it used to really make me sad and depressed and anxious and all those things. So I just set these ground rules for okay, I can have 2 desserts a week and 2 splurge meals a week, and that is my sweet spot, and I don't go over that, and I don't go under that. Um, Now, like on vacation, I don't really abide by that. Like I may have dessert every day on vacation, but I couldn't always do that. I did have to when I was really in my sugar addiction and really struggling with it. I couldn't always do that. I had to wait a while before I was able to feel in control, right? But now I can go on vacation for a week, have dessert every night at dinner, and come back and not even be an issue. Just get right back on track to with what I was doing, my healthy eating and stuff. But that does take time, so I don't want you guys to feel like, "Oh, if I can't do that, then, something's wrong with me." It's not. It takes time. It takes practice. Just like with any new habit that you start, your brain is gonna try to get you to go back to the old habits, and so it takes time to, rewire your brain to like these new habits. So there's nothing wrong with you. It just takes time. So, that's my first thing. If you are an all or nothing thinker, and you think I have to do something 100%, or not at all, then set some ground rules for yourself. That is the way to fix that. That's how I fixed it. I just set some ground rules for myself so I would have something to follow because I need like structure. I need a plan. Or because if I have no plan, if I just wing it, then I won't be the healthy person that I want to be. I won't have balanced blood sugar. I just won't feel good and be the healthy person that I am. So set some ground rules for yourself, and you can just do like start with one, or and do just have two or three that are really gonna help you with your health goals. Um, and I made a note, and I'll read this to you. So I put two splurge meals a week is better than splurging every day. And that's really what I think, like instead of you splurging every single day, just say I'm going to have two a week, or two splurge meals a week and two desserts, and that will get you through the week. If you know, okay, I got a splurge meal coming up, I got a dessert coming up, and that doesn't have to be at the same time every week either. You can mix it up. You can change it up based on your schedule that week or what you're doing that week. Um, that works really well for me, and it works well for my clients and things. So just try that. Try that one. All right. So, the other kind of thinking that keeps you from your health goals is thinking of food as good or bad. How many of you do that? Let me know. Do you think of food as, this is a good food, this is a bad food, I need to stay away from that, that's bad? How many of you guys think of food as good or bad? Um, so, if you say things like, I ate terrible this weekend, or I know this cake is so bad for me, then you are judging food as good or bad. So if you say things like that, like I ate terrible today, this is so bad for me, you label food as good or bad. And this is holding you back. This way of thinking is holding you back from your health goals. And this is something I had to learn too, because I mean, I've done all these things, you guys. I've had all these ways of thinking over the years. So, you're not alone. Um, but I want to share with you the way that I started thinking about food. So instead of the cake being bad for me, I think of enjoying dessert a couple times a week as being good for my mental health. Like I said, in the first way of thinking, the all or nothing thinking. Because if I had to go through life and never eat, never be able to enjoy dessert, never eat dessert, or felt guilty every time I ate dessert, like if I felt guilty every time I ate it instead of enjoying it, um, what do you think that would do to my mental health over time? I would be anxious. I would be stressed every time I wanted dessert. It would be like a big dramatic thing, like, "Oh my gosh, should I eat it? Should I not?" Oh, and then when I'm eating it, I'm stressed out. I'm not really enjoying it because I'm stressed out because I'm feeling guilty about it because it's a bad food. Excuse me. So, we don't wanna think like that, you know? Um, and you know, guys, I see this all the time, and it's so sad to me because you should be able to have your cake in your life if you love it. You know, you shouldn't, if you love a piece of chocolate cake, you should be able to have it occasionally and really enjoy that cake and not feel guilty about it, you know? Um, Again, we just need to predetermine some limits so we don't go overboard. That you just need to have some limits, you know? Um, because we can overdo anything if we don't have limits. And I've worked with people who were over exercisers, and that's just as unhealthy as eating dessert every day, believe it or not. You can overdo exercise and cause hormonal imbalances, muscle wasting, and put too much stress on your body, where it goes into survival mode. And when your body gets into survival mode, uh, your health is not good. You're just going to have health issues. Your metabolism is going to slow down. It is literally in survival mode, and it can shut off functions of different things. It can, you can have hormonal imbalances that lead to other health issues. Um, so, you can overdo anything in life, and that's why you have to have, if you struggle with um, eating too much dessert or eating too much pasta or over exercising or whatever it is, if you struggle with those things, then you need some rules. You need some ground rules in your life, just so you can enjoy those things without going overboard. Um, so instead of saying that you ate bad, start saying, I will enjoy my favorite foods 2 times a week to take care of my mental health and avoid feeling deprived. That's what I tell myself. So I enjoy my favorite foods twice a week. Sometimes that's a hamburger and french fries. Sometimes that's spaghetti or lasagna. But I enjoy 2 things like that per week so that I feel not, so I don't feel deprived. And so I don't feel stressed or like, you know, I don't get like sad and depressed and anxious because I can't eat what everybody else eats, you know? So that's what I tell myself. Uh, and again, that's going to be much healthier than yo-yo dieting or giving up on your health altogether, right? Just having the not labeling food as good or bad and just having those set rules for yourself most of the time, um, that's going to be way better than yo-yo dieting and or just winging everything and not having a plan at all. So try that, and um, don't say things like, I ate terrible this weekend and make yourself feel guilty. Just move on. you know, like if you have a weekend like that or a holiday or, I know Easter weekend is coming up. If you, if you eat, if you treat yourself all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what good is it going to do to feel guilty about that come Monday? If you did it, there's nothing you can do about it. Just move on. Just get back on track and don't feel guilty about it. But if you do plan to do that, just enjoy it, because if you're like stressing the whole weekend and you're like, "Oh, I feel so guilty eating this." And then that's not going to be as enjoyable as if you just enjoy it and then get back on track on Monday. So just try that, and hopefully that will help you stop looking at food as good or bad. All right, and the last one I have is thinking that it's okay to emotionally eat. So I was terribly guilty of this one, and this is what got me in so much trouble, and got me addicted to sugar, because I thought that it was okay to emotionally eat. It's not. We shouldn't be abusing food in that way, because that's what we're doing when we emotionally eat. We are abusing food. We're using it for the wrong reason. And I'm not saying that like I say, I enjoy dessert. Um, I don't feel like if I'm not eating dessert, uh, out of, me having a bad day or whatever. That's not why I do it. I do it because I enjoy it and I need to keep my sanity. So that's why I do it. And I just don't want to live life without never having dessert. But I don't use it like when I have had a bad day or something comes up and I'm really stressed or I'm upset about something. I don't go turn to ice cream or cookies like I used to. That is not how I use it, because that is emotionally eating, and that is what's causing a lot of our addictions, our habits that we can't get rid of, and our cravings, and also uh, like it can make us feel, you know, depressed or anxious and things like that. So anyway, I was really guilty of this one, and if I had a stressful day, which was every day, I would tell myself I deserve to have this treat. That's what I used to say. I deserve to have this treat because I had a really hard day at work. I deserve to have this treat because I'm upset, you know? And I actually started looking for reasons why I deserve to have a treat. I got so addicted to eating sweets at night, like when I got home, that I actually started, yeah, you've been there. Um, I actually started, and I've never really talked about this. Like, I've never really admitted this. This is really the first time. But when I was thinking about this topic, I was in a place where I was so addicted to sugar that I was literally justifying it. I was looking for ways to justify having it, especially at night, like after dinner and stuff. I deserve this because I had a really hard day at work, Like, how many of us do that? And it doesn't even have to be sweets. It could be wine. It could be a beer. It could be, just the normal things we think are normal. We think of them as, oh, I'm off work. I'm ready to relax. Let me go grab a beer, a glass of wine, a dessert, that we think that's our way of relaxing, but it's actually our way of emotionally eating, because we were stressed and we just want to relax. And so we associate those things with, now it's time to relax. And that's what we've trained our bodies to do. Oh, You're off work. It's time to relax. Let's have a glass of wine. You're off work. It's time to relax. Let's have some cookies or some ice cream. That is emotionally eating, whether we call it that or not. And I really had to admit this. I had to be real with myself about this. It started as, um, yeah, I was just eating it when I had a bad day or when I was really upset. And it turned into an addiction to where I was, you know, I was looking for reasons why I deserved to have it every night. So, um, yeah, and this caused me to get addicted to sugar, and that's exactly what emotionally eating does. Emotionally eating, abusing food, using food to cope with emotions is how we get addicted to sugar and carbs and alcohol and all these things. And when we use food as our main coping mechanism to relieve stress or comfort us, that's when we get into habits that we can't break. Um, that's how I got into my habit, my sugar addiction that I could not break. And that can lead to weight gain and health issues. And it did for me. It led to both of those things for me. Um, and the main way you break an addiction or a habit is to start interrupting it with something other than food. And I know we've talked about this before on lives before, but you have to interrupt that that habit with something other than it can't be food related, even if it's a healthy food. It can't be, oh, I'm replacing chocolate cake with raspberries. It needs to be something that's not food related. Um, because you'll just end up going back to it, and you'll still be relying on that eating, emotionally eating, even if it's healthy, you're still relying on emotional eating. So it needs to be something other than food. So your old way of coping with stress was to eat chocolate, right? Let's just say. But your new way may be yoga. Um, you have to interrupt the old responses and create a new one. But it doesn't have to be yoga. It can be anything. Walk the dog, take a bubble bath, paint your nails, go sit outside on the porch, look at the sunset, whatever it is. It some people some people might call a friend or a family member like, oh, I got that craving, let me get my mind off of this and call my sister or whatever. Oh, I've got that craving again, here comes that habit, let me let me play a game on my phone. Whatever it is for you that you need to do. It doesn't have to be yoga, but yoga is a great way to relieve stress and get your mind off of things. But I know it's not for everyone. So if you're emotionally eating, if you recognize that you are an emotional eater, try that. Interrupt that pattern and replace it with something that's not food related. And you guys, I go into this much deeper in my Cravings to Confidence course. And so if you're needing more guidance on how to overcome your habits and cravings, I will leave the link to my course in the comments, and you can click on it to read more about it. All right, y'all, let me know if this topic hit home for you. And I hope you have a good day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.